So thank you to Adam and to Dan for carrying the Torahs as we put that away, especially for an old guy like Dan, that he just celebrated his birthday. And I know that because we actually share birthdays. He's a year older than me. Yeah, exactly. So we didn't know, but earlier in the service, he's like, "When were you born?" I said, 1982. It's not exactly the case. So, but this past week I celebrated my 52nd birthday, and it's been a great week. That from last Shabbos to this and a little bit more that my family has planned for me. So I've been thinking about it, and it really is a great moment. Every year, amazingly, my birthday falls in the spring. And so it always just has that great sense of being rejuvenating moment, and the spring training is happening in baseball, and that's why I couldn't get myself to say go Reds. I had to say, a different sport that I don't really care about. So spring training is happening for my Giants, my San Francisco Giants, and the cherry blossoms are out here in DC, and it's just a wonderful time of year. And so I had nothing to do with when I was born, but I'm grateful for it. So I wanted to share a little bit about what I am grateful for this year and what I've been thinking about, because it's not just a birthday of thinking about it. It also is this moment of re-emerging from COVID that feels different this year. And so I have 3 ideas that I wanted to share, and maybe it will resonate with you, or you'll just snore softly through it. So the first is that what I've been thinking about is that life is fragile. I've entered year 3 of COVID, and life is fragile, and we have felt this in so many ways. And every morning I wake up and I say, Moda ani lefanecha. I offer thanks to you, O God, for you have mercifully restored my soul within me. Your faithfulness is great. And so Judaism tells us to start our day with gratitude. Because whatever your thoughts on the theology of does your soul actually depart and then it's restored in the morning, it is next to the idea that we should wake up grateful for waking up on that day. Because who knows what may have happened on any given day, yesterday or overnight. And life is fragile, and why not start off just being grateful for waking up? Judaism instructs us to, but I actually think that it got it right. There is so much illness. That's today's Parsha, right? Is all about Sahara and illnesses, and there's COVID illness, and there's regular illnesses of cancer and chemotherapies, and just getting sick. It's been funny that we still remind each other that some people just get colds. Like, it doesn't mean that you have COVID. You just get a cold. But you also get other things as well. And so life is fragile. Think about the people in Ukraine. Life is fragile. 4.1 million refugees. Poland has received about 2.4 million, plus internally displaced people, meaning people that have stayed within Ukraine but left their homes, fled their homes. Their homes have been bombed or destroyed. 6.5 million people of Ukrainians have left their home but are still within Ukraine. With a population of about 44 million, that's a quarter of the population has been shoved out from the safety of their homes, and they're someplace else, right? I don't even know how many millions of people, a quarter of the American population, if that happened to us here. The devastation in Mariupol and cities that we may never have heard of before, but are on the headlines every day. Life is fragile. In Israel, I mentioned before, in the last 2 weeks alone, 5 people were fatally shot in the Tel Aviv suburb of Bnei Brak. 2 Israeli border police officers were murdered during a shooting rampage in Hadera, and 4 Israelis were killed in a knife and car ramming attack in Beersheba. So from north to south, Dozens of others were wounded in these attacks and during 2 other rampages in Jerusalem. And all throughout, life is fragile and our mental health is equally fragile. We need to talk about it. We need to just put it out there to say, I am having a hard time during all of this. I'm having a hard time reading the news because for whatever reason, the news likes to put at the very top bad things, not good things. And so whenever you open your app or you actually, kids, there was a thing called a newspaper that was actually a paper. And so whatever is above the headline, it is never about someone helping someone else. It is always about someone attacking, vitriol, the wrong that is happening. And we just need to talk about that our mental health has taken a beating in these last 2 years. It is real and it is hard, and this has to be one of the safe spaces within a faith community in which you can just raise your hand and say, I need help. And you are not alone. The number of people that sit on the couch in my office or in Rabbi Megdal's office or in the Chazan's office, it is real. I was talking with someone earlier before services started, and the analogy that the metaphor that I've been using is that, when they say that the tundra is melting and it's releasing all of these CO2s and bad stuff into the atmosphere, it feels like that with our emotions. Now that we are reemerging from COVID, all the things we've been holding on to and we're so tight, it's releasing in unproductive ways. So I'm hearing complaints about things that people maybe didn't like, but they never complained with such strong emotions, right? People are depleted themselves and they're not putting them best out there, and it's not being received from their best place either. And so there is just a lot of emotion that is shooting all over the place. So mental health needs are real and life is fragile, is number one. Number two is life takes effort. I've been thinking about that we have to lean in to create the life that we want. During COVID, we all sort of retreated into ourselves a bit, and we took on new habits. But as we're reemerging, we don't have to reemerge in the way we were in 2019. We can reemerge in 2020 in a new way, maybe with new habits. Some might be similar, but to lean into this moment of whatever it might be for you. That life takes effort. I was speaking with someone yesterday who shared with me that they were receiving their 4-year chip from AA. And we were reflecting on this idea that life takes effort. And I texted back to this person that you're making me think about the phrase l'chaim. While we use it as a toast, it is also just simply a way to live, right? To life, a good life, fulfilling life, a meaningful life, a clean life. And so I said to this person, thank you for also being my teacher along your journey. As this person earned their 4-year chip in AA, which is that 4 years of not having a drink. That truly is every day leaning in and making an effort. In that case, not to drink, but in our case, whatever that means in our daily life. That we can't be passive in the life that we live. We have to be active in it. We shape new habits and patterns, and we have to move forward. And life takes effort. And I want to move forward from what I have learned from these past 2 years into whatever is happening next. And if the Whitman poem is right, "O captain, my captain," right, that you are the captain of your life, in that poem, the poem is written after the captain's death. Let's not wait. Be the captain of your life now. So number two, life takes effort. And number 3 is to share your life. Share your life. That's what I've been thinking about in these first days of being 52. The Kohen Gadol in this reading goes out to those with tzara. They go out into the place of isolation to see how they're doing, to check in on them, to care for them. And they are sharing their life, and I want to share my life with others. We have to nurture relationships and be intentional about the relationships that we have. Not online postings, but real connections with people. In Proverbs, it says, one gives freely, yet grows all the richer. When one gives freely, they grow all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. Whoever brings blessings will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. I love that idea, that whoever waters will be watered themselves. That's intentionality. I think it is true that by giving, you are receiving. And so let's shake some of the COVID habits that we have adopted, and let's share our life, because that's what community is when we are doing our best. We are sharing in each other's life. So at 52, this is what I'm focused on. Life is fragile. Life takes effort, and to share my life. So I have marked my calendar to look back at this sermon and to see how I am doing, to reflect on these values. And I invite you to reflect as well. Let's be intentional on how we re-emerge. Let's be honest about the struggles that we have. And let's lean on each other and create the community that we want and the community that I believe that we need. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh.